Hello, everyone, and welcome. I have with me today Keith Fields with what I call the Lighthouse. What do you call
I call it the Lighthouse.
it?
But just for clarity, there
Yeah.
are a couple of Lighthouse churches, so I like
Uh-huh.
to add the Lighthouse Adult Daycare
That's
Center.
right. We do have
That's right.
Lighthouse Church of God out by my house. A
We
wonderful
do.
church. So
Sure.
I guess you got a good point there. You've
Yes.
run into that before.
Actually, we did. One day we called, we had some HVAC trouble, and the guy came, and he was a couple of hours late, and he had been to the Lighthouse Church. So
Hmm.
it's important to say we're the Lighthouse Adult Daycare.
Well, we're going to talk about one of the, I don't know if funnest is a correct word, but it is sure is fun at the Littlest Leprechaun contest, isn't it?
It's a hoot. That's
Yeah.
what I like to say. It's just
Yeah.
great seeing those kids.
You never know, and I always love filming that particular one because you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
Anything could happen.
Anything can happen because these are kids from 6 months through kindergarten. So when you're dealing with kids of that age, you just don't know. That's why it's such a hoot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's coming up March 1st, so it's
right.
right around the corner,
Yes.
and going to be at Theater Dublin.
March 1st, 6 o'clock at Theater Dublin. It happens very quickly because we have it programmed to happen quickly because a lot of little kids are involved and they need to be at home in the bed. So generally, most everybody is either out or on the way out by 7:30. So it happens quickly.
And it starts at 6 o'clock.
Starts at 6, and all of the parents who have kids registered as part of the event need to have their kid there in costume by 5:30, and we'll get it done and get out.
How do you register your child if you have not registered?
It's easy to do. We have a registration form, and it's easy to get one of those forms. They can get one by calling us at 274-0003. We will email them one, fax them one, or hard copy mail them one. And they just simply fill it out. It only takes a couple of minutes. And, of course, send us a check for $15, and you're in.
And the good thing about St. Patrick's, this is our 51st annual St. Patrick's Festival.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we wasn't even born when it started. Were we?
Of course not.
Y'all know better than that, but it is such a great event. And all our events, one of the best things about it is you're not wasting your money when you do these things, whether it's the pancake supper, the Littlest Leprechaun, or Little Miss Colleen, or whatever. All the money stays right here in our community.
Indeed, most especially I know that to be a fact with the Lighthouse Adult Daycare Center. All of the monies stay here. We're not a member of a national organization where we pay fees or anything, so it stays here. And I think it pretty much is that way with all the fundraising organizations during that month. So a lot of money's raised. A lot of that money, probably most of that money, goes to good things here in Dublin and Lawrence County. Yeah.
And somebody watching us today that's never been a part of St. Patrick's and maybe don't know a lot about Dublin, tell our viewers what the Lighthouse Daycare Center is.
The Lighthouse Daycare Center provides daycare services for adults 18 years of age or older who have some kind of cognitive or functional deficit or disability. I like to say that it's really for any adult who is not able to stay at home alone during the day. A lot of these individuals require 24/7 care, and a caregiver just doesn't have an opportunity to lead a normal life for themselves. And that's where we come in. If that person is able to come and visit with us during the day, we can provide that respite time for the caregiver and allow them a time to breathe and have somewhat of a normal life for those few hours and do the things they need to do to have that life. So that's what we do, and we're available for you to come by and see our facility anytime. It's at 611 Bellevue. We're next to AT&T, across from Capital City Bank, just almost across from the downtown post office. So call us, come to see us.
And through the years, us working together and doing testimonies and telethons and all the stories that we hear, one word comes to mind is sanity. These
Yes.
caregivers,
Yes.
it saves their sanity. I mean, they can,
Yes.
whether it's just ride around town and get their thoughts together, or go to the doctor, the dentist, or go pick groceries up, or go walk or whatever, but it just gives them, because they are 24-hour-a-day caregivers. So
Yes.
that's one of the biggest places I think y'all help.
Yeah, I mentioned just a minute or so ago that we provide an opportunity for that caregiver to breathe. I actually had a caregiver recently to tell me one day. She said, "Well, I just brought my husband this morning, and she said, I'm going home, and I'm going to just sit down, and I think I'm just going to sit there and breathe for a while. So it's hard to relate to that unless you've been there and walked in those shoes. But some of these caregivers have a tough life.
Yeah, yeah, and it's hard for us to, maybe not you, but me, because we're always going. We have this time, we can do what we want, but when you have that loved one, parent, or I was in a meeting early this morning, and one of the ladies' mom had passed away. She had Alzheimer's for 4 years, and you don't die from Alzheimer's, but you have Alzheimer's, and you could get pneumonia or different things, complications from it. But just listening to this young woman talk about what they went through with her mother and her decline, and they never got to use something like the Lighthouse. So it's just so good for families like these.
It is, and it's a heartbreaking disease because there's no cure for Alzheimer's, and it just robs the person of all of their memory and robs them of everything that they ever were. And the caregivers who have loved them all of those years, and sometimes it's a spouse or a mother or a father, they have to sit there day in and day out and watch that person be robbed of all that memory. It's a heartbreaking disease, just heartbreaking.
What about volunteers? Can people volunteer at the Lighthouse?
Sure. We have we encourage volunteers. We have what we like to encourage for project-specific volunteerism. We have a lot of things that we don't have a budget to do. Sometimes like cutting grass or doing weed eating or simple repairs inside and out. We have a lot of different things that someone can volunteer to do. We have professional staff that provide all the services to our clientele, but we have lots of things. So if they would just call us, we'd be glad to talk with them about it.
Okay, March 1st, 6 o'clock.
Yes, March 1st, 6 o'clock. We're going to have the Baby Leprechaun event, 6 months through 2 years, the Wee Ones Leprechaun event, 3 years through kindergarten. It's going to be a big old time. So if you've got a child you want to register, just give us a call at 274-0003, and we'll get a registration form to you. And we'd like to get this done by February 22nd if we can. So register early so we can get everything done and be ready.
Okay, and even if you don't have children, this is a great event to attend during our 51st annual St. Patrick's Festival. Thank you for joining us.